Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So this week I've been looking at kind of bookends in the Bible and in different places, but not with an idea just towards, oh, there's a bookend, but an idea of how that theme that starts and ends in certain places, how it applies to me and is something that causes me to think. So today I've got another one for you. And this is another bookend that starts in the beginning and ends in the end, but has places throughout because it's a very important biblical theme. It is the bookend or the theme of creation. So Genesis begins with a story of God creating the heavens and the earth and all that's within it. And God's a creative God. And he gives names to things. He calls the morning, morning, and it's morning, and the evening, evening, and whatever name God assigns, that's the name it has. Then God creates humanity and gives humanity a special place in creation as someone made in God's image. And as image bearers, humanity has the right to name things, just as God does. We're creative people. We create things. Heavens, watch TV sometime. We create some fantastic things and some pretty bad things. But enough of that. So creativity is something that sets us apart as humans because it's something we share in common with God. It's a way we reflect him and his character. He's a creator God. Now, that's the start of the bookend. Where's the end of the bookend? In Revelation, and even in other places like Peter's writings, it talks about, in Paul's, how God will create again a new heaven and a new earth. That this old will be wiped away. And the new heaven and new earth will be a place of no tears and a place of brightness and light and goodness and truth and love and all of these incredible things. And that is the creation of God at the end of the biblical theme of creation. But we're remiss if in seeing a creator God, we fail to understand that he creates or recreates inside each of us. So for example, you have Psalm 51. In Psalm 51, traditionally ascribed to King David, David says to God after a particularly sinful time in his life, I'm talking the adultery with Bathsheba, the killing of her husband, just pretty raunchy, poor behavior. David comes to a time of repentance after Nathan the prophet comes to him, and his repentance prayer in Psalm 51 is fantastic on this bookending theme of creation. Because even though he's in the middle of the book, literally, Psalms is in the middle of the Bible, even in the middle of the book, he says the following: create in me a clean heart, O God. And David asked God to work as a creator God in his life. You know, one of the most famous biblical passages is John 3:16. That's the passage that says, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That same chapter, that same dialogue that prompted that John 3:16 passage is Jesus interacting with Nicodemus. And Jesus says to Nicodemus that unless a man or woman is born again, they don't see the kingdom. The term born again can also be easily translated, perhaps even better translated, born anew. In other words, created again. We worship a creating God, and he's able to create not only the beginning of time and the end of time and beyond time, but he's able to create within time for you and for me. So we're creative people. We understand the concept. My question becomes, how do you need God to create in you today? How do I need God to create in me? Do I need to come to him and pray for him to create in me a clean heart? That I should be like him in all my ways? Should I ask him to create in me a person of courage, a person of faith? Do I ask him to create within me, fill in the blank? And God is in the creating business. It's in the book from the beginning to the end. And that's your video thought for the day.